Good morning, beautiful peeps. It's a new day. It's a new day. It's a new dawn. And it's a new wave spell. Wave spell number 3. Blue hand. Settling in on the lowest point. I feel like I am at once a kind of like a bowl that is cone shaped. I feel cone shaped, and my information or energy or something is like sand, and there's a wind blowing through this cone with the sand, and all the sand is like, and I'm waiting for it to settle. I'm waiting for it to settle somewhere so I kind of know what to talk about. Do I need to know what to talk about? What settles in the bottom of the cone like that narrow passage in the hourglass? Do I settle my consciousness on that narrow passage in the hourglass so I can just talk about each single sand grain like a single word coming through? My throat chakra. I've already spoken about my throat chakra this morning. How is that in the body? Okay, it's a kind of an unequal hourglass, but it's like the narrowest passage in the chakra system. My throat, our throats, chakra number 5. And maybe there's an hourglass equal upward, but we can't see it on the body. It's not just the head, there's a whole other system above us. It's not as dense as the body. There's so many. If I'm actually wishing I could land on on the point of crossroad. Yeah, it's exactly that. This narrow place in the hourglass. That's what it feels like. What do I want to talk about? Who's deciding what I talk about? The blue hand. We're back to magnetic. It's the third magnetic tone. I feel a little bit of resistance inside me to this becoming a lecture on the Tzolk'in. On the other hand, a part of me is like, oh yes, it is like my greatest passion at the moment, and it is one I can talk about, and I love talking. There's this questioner coming in. This wave spell is really, it's about healing, accomplishment, knowing. I'm going to keep it to those 3 words. When you look up references, there often comes a host of more keywords, like in a divination card set with all these keywords. But sometimes I find, yeah, you have to tune into a few because there are too many for me. It's like, it puts me off. Can I just synthesize a few? It's easier. And this tomorrow, the lunar tone, the second tone, which is represents the challenge, what challenges and what stabilizes us. The yellow star. And I did listen to some information from the net, and I picked up the one thing that was like that stood out for me is I love it because there's so much information to everything. you can listen to it anytime and something else will stick out. And that what sticks out is that which is relevant to you. So to me, what stuck out is the yellow star represents, or in the shadow of the yellow star, we find the inner critic. I'm like, oh yeah, my friend, he showed up 2 days ago, or 3. I'm walking with him. Why is it a he? I'm working with her. It feels completely wrong. It has to be a him. So probably it's my father's voice. And why is it a he? Because I really want to please. I probably wanted to please my dad more than my mom, being a girl. Having that connection to the masculine more pronounced. And my father's punishments, if we did not please him, were in a way harsher. Perhaps. I don't know. So my inner critic is a he. The blue hand with a spell. Healing, accomplishment. The magnetic tone always stands for unify, attract, purpose. So today is a great day to just tune in. What shows up today? The purpose of the wave spell will show up for us today. That's one way to tune ourselves. We have free will. And I have a feeling I'm going to talk for the next 100 days just about this bloody free will. It's so, so important. If I have a compass and I have a compass needle and I'm sitting on the earth and there is a North Pole, it tunes my needle. My free will has no say in that. I cannot make that needle go anywhere else, or can I? And with that, I was thinking the yellow warrior questioning fearlessly. I thought to myself, Tatiana, can question endlessly. It's just a game for me. And yesterday I listened to something that spoke about how this questioning is a way of avoidance. It's a way of the inner insecure. It's a masking of insecurity. And I was like, oh dear, do I really want to hear that right now? Go away. And I thought, yeah, that's probably very true. Intelligent questioning, asking the right questions at the right time. Questioning left, right, and center, anything and everything. And I know exactly what that's like. I can question everything and can come up with answers and confuse myself just ever more. It serves me nothing. So, Earth School, some say it's like a spiritual school, I'd say. Perhaps it's a human school. For me, it's like learning to be human. How to be human. How to be human. What does it mean? Spirit and human, if you remember, the yellow human is the antipode to the white wind. Spirit and human, they are far apart, but they can't work without each other. So we're not complete without our polar opposite. And that in itself is to me it's so symbolic that my what's more, like feminine, female is not complete without masculine, without male. We are independently separate completely, but there's a unity. The unity of purpose, magnetic tone. I could contemplate my life purpose. What's our life purpose? Do we need to know? Is my purpose, can I determine a purpose for my entire life? And very often in the Western mindset, we're so trained, my purpose has to be a doing. What am I here to do? For me personally, I'm here to be. My purpose is to be here. The fact that I am on this planet is enough. Can I enjoy this life? I don't even want to bring in a moralistic, can I make this world a better place? Is my purpose being human because I am human? Is my purpose to be a good human? But who determines what that is? In a cannibalistic society, you're not a bad human when you're eating other humans. In a non-cannibalistic society, you absolutely are. Who decides the moral code? We are not our moral codes. They are just something we adopt, but many of us can't even freely choose those. We're pressed into. I don't want to talk about that. Oh, Tatjana, please. Blue hand. There's so much to talk about. Unify, attract, purpose, healing, accomplishment. I get that image again of a circle with a dot in it, and I'm standing on the edge. I'm standing on the circle. I'm a part of the circle. Do I look inward at the center, or do I look outward at the infinite vastness of everything else that isn't if I turn around? I'm finding it very difficult to translate multi-dimensional images into a 2 or 3-dimensional, and yet that's what we are. We are the my body, my third-dimensional being it's it. Don't even need to understand or analyze it. Exhale. Why am I coming here? Why am I doing this? Joy. I enjoy this. So what? Where's my joy? Talk about that soul key. I feel a bit of tension because I'm having to decide on what to talk about when there's so much floating around my inner space right now. I'm not feeling and knowing where to land, and I'm starting to become anxious because I talk about this and I'm imagining someone listening to me waffling. like what? Where's she going? What is she saying? Do we have to listen to this? Oh my God! Can we listen to something else? Can you say something worth anything? Oh. And why am I doing this? I'm not doing this for someone else's worth. And yet, balancing. So the blue hand is the last of the 7 seals in the circle of 20. Dragon is number 1. Wind is number 2. Night is 3. Seed is 4. Serpent is 5. World Bridger 6. Hand is 7. And it is said that it is an end and a beginning, which is very interesting that it comes after the death, white World Bridger, which represents death, ending, new beginning. But the blue hand represents endings and new beginnings, accomplishment. It's the completion of primary being, as far as I understand. So to me it makes sense, like the first 7 seals are very much like a kind of like a personal self. Tomorrow we're going to the yellow star, which opens up the field. There an infinite number, maybe a finite number, doesn't matter. There's a lot of other personal selves. So we open up, like in our childhood development, we go through the stage of we're one with everything. We come in without any distinctions. Me and self, there's nothing. We've gradually developed a sense of self relative to an undefined other. And then as we grow up, as the sense of self develops, the sense of other develops in parallel. Which takes me now straight back into the collective How do we, this individuation process, self and other, how do we land, how do we get coherent? We need to be coherent. I'm back there, I'm right back there, I'm right back there. Making this world a coherent place. Blah, 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 blah. But blue hand. The importance of knowing ourselves, knowing who we are, and in different phases of development, in different stages of our own being, that answer, who am I, is different. To me, it's not cast in stone. And I can certainly say I'm a different person from who I was 10, 20 years ago, most definitely. And I'm a different person from who I will be in 20 years, in 100 years. Who will I be in 100 years? Oh my gosh, can I please have a look? If someone could show me, I would see an infinite number of versions of me. Because it's just potentiality. And if I understand past and future are not that different, I can look back and see maybe not infinite, but the potentials of a lot of different me's in the past, because from where I am now, every past me is seen by me, by my now me, through a filter or a whole bunch of filters. If I change those filters, I change the me I'm seeing who I was 10 years ago. Can of worms? I'd say there's like 3 cans of worms. Should we open even one of them? It can be fun. It cannot only be fun, it can be really, really vital to know and to understand that. To understand. How do we, anyway. The word that comes to mind is neuroplasticity, and always the self-empowerment. How do we understand ourselves? Do we understand our limitations? Do we need to understand them? In my views, kind of, good idea too. And to know how to transcend, what can we change, what can't we change. I'm back there, I've spoken about that a lot. But to the degree that I don't understand myself, or to the degree that I'm, no. Static, I get it. There's like static. I gotta keep an eye on this guy, because this video yesterday was short, and I'm running on a short image that's gonna stop at some point, and then if I forget. All right, where do we go? Blue hand, accomplishment, knowing, healing. Who's our friends today? Who are our friends today? And what are we accomplishing? What are we ending and what are we starting? Getting to know myself in the context of myself. Blue hand, I'm thinking echo chamber. There's a lot of criticism or warnings going around when we talk to things like ChatGPT or the algorithms in YouTube or social media, pushing us or putting us or landing us in these echo chambers of our own thoughts. I'm not sure that a regular analog life doesn't work very similarly, that we anyway creating echo chambers. Cultures are echo chambers of sameness in many ways. How is it different? Is it just that people now see others in the mirror of this very clear mirror that AI or that social media represents to us? It's so easy to see how other people, of course not ourselves, end up in these echo chambers. And then when they are not our own echo chambers, oh, it's dangerous, because look at you in your echo chamber and then you're all wrong. Whatever. Um, but but once we have some grasp of ourselves, conscious or not, we then become aware of our place in the collective. Harmony, the star stands for harmony. We're still going there tomorrow. Ends and beginnings today. Where do I end and where do you begin? Where does a moment end and another one begin? Where does the past end and the future begins? This seems like something in me says it seems like a theoretical question. And is life easier when we don't ask that question? Is that one of those questions that just causes endless confusion because you can't answer it? Because is the moment, sometimes I think the moment doesn't exist at all. I don't exist at all. I'm just a memory, just a projection, projecting. And a part of me is like, oh yeah, that's so relaxing. It just lets me off the hook. What me? Oh man. I am the circle and the dot. And there's no way for the dot to know itself as the circle and no way for the circle to know itself as the dot. But two of them together, like what consciousness is that? Expanding consciousness. Inspanding consciousness. Ah, blue hand. Okay, attract, unify. What's the purpose? What did we wake up with this morning? What do we wake up? I woke up with this multiplicitude of sensations in my body, in my emotions, in my feelings, and my sensations, and in my thoughts. And there's a lot going on there, and there's a lot of analysis going on there. And I'm not so sure that that's so healthy to try to understand all the stuff. But when a person, or when we're sensitive and we're entering this, I don't know if we're entering a time of more sensitivity, I have no idea. I myself am becoming more aware of certain sensitivities in my environment. I meet people who, my friends, are so aware of so many things. They're such sensitive human beings that react and respond to what? What are we reacting and responding to? Our own hormonal changes. And what are those? This morning I woke up thinking, well, I am exactly the same human being I was going to sleep, and yet I'm aware there's a silence in my field. There's no ripples in the environment except the ones I'm causing. And I'm aware of so many layers and levels and things that could cause ripples. There is a power outage in a part of Berlin that is close to my house. It can spark a whole cascade of thoughts and feelings of what's going on, what's not going on, how should I respond, how should this make me feel, how could this make me feel, how does it make other people feel. And I'm not sure, is it my own mind conjuring up all this stuff, or are the receivers in my mind and my body picking up the signals from the collective field? Either way, what am I supposed to do with that? Am I just supposed to feel it? It throws me around left, right, and center. Am I allowed to not feel anything about it? Should I go out there and be helpful? Am I now selfish if I'm not? And this is just 3 thoughts out of a million. Like, it's like, talk about echo chamber. It's a bit hectic. And the sensitivity, blue hand, healing, accomplishment. How do we deal with our sensitivity? A lot of us have come into this world where this sensitivity wasn't mirrored, it wasn't welcome, it wasn't understood, it wasn't received it cannot be received in an environment where it's 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 how do I even put this into words? I'm not. I think anyone listening understands it, gets it. It's like, yeah, but how do we now deal with it? How do we now, especially us adults who are of a certain age, where by and large, it's like we've. No, that's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. Okay, here's what I want to say. It's very easy for me to look out in my environment and see how easy or how normal it is people of a certain age to get sort of settled, like their software becomes their hardware. I see like they bodies, minds, systems become stiff, but unyielding, unflexible. This is the way it is, and I'm old enough to have understood it. It's always been like that. When you're younger, you're more malleable in every way. Past a certain, as you know, and I don't want to. I just observe this in a lot of people. It isn't like that is how it is, but a lot of people, a lot of bodies, a lot of systems, like cultures, cultural groups, it becomes like fixed. This is how we do things. This is how things are done. And where we're coming from, I'm talking about our sensitivity. Why, on a blue hand, healing, opening up the seeds of our, it's just like, wait a minute. Do you know where I'm going? Well, even me right now, it's like something is communicating with me, through me, and I'm learning. This process is very much a learning process for me to do this podcast. It's a kind of a, what's healing, what wants healing, just to stay flexible. What does that even mean in this moment? How do I stay really open, sensitive, aware, responsive, not reactive? And if I open, how do I choose which channels or which receivers? You see, that's it. Here's an image of, I'm aware of my many receivers. A lot of channels are open. I'm aware they're not open in everyone. They, and it's not a judgment. It's going back to this, being born into a world where it was necessary to have only 3 channels open because you need to really function on those 3. And when there's a specialization, the past generations have honed in on specializing on that. Now we're coming in, for whatever reason, we come in with 10, and it is, for us, it's important to open these 10, but the environment of 3 can't reflect the 10 back. They can't understand the other 7, perhaps, Perhaps they've even been told the others are rubbish, nonsense, stop wasting your time, you're being a dreamer, you're being floaty, you're being not attached to reality, because they're not a part of their reality. And in our childhoods, they may have really, what do we do with it today? We have to do something with it today. As it has been damaged, we have this 10. We also have their 3, or do we? Maybe some of us aren't even as solid in the 3 as those who only have the 3 are really solid in those 3. It's like there's so many options, and sometimes really difficult to navigate all of these options. Like, how does this, oh my goodness, and yet we are equipped. We can find each other, and it's not that we are seeking our echo chamber to have ourselves affirmed, but there is a need for an affirmation for some essential part of ourselves. Otherwise, in a world that can't affirm it, you can easily end up feeling quite crazy with your sensitivities towards things that you just haven't got anybody, like, we need to, like, know how to deal with them, how to be. Those sensitivities are gifts for the collective, they're gifts for ourselves. And we get to develop them now, whatever they are. And that's the plugging into the self, the essential self, your own essential self, who you essentially are, and then who we essentially are. That's the yellow star. It's us as an individual and us as a collective. And merging, but not losing our individuality. My cells are a part of my body. But they're still the cell. My nerve cell knows that it's not a blood cell. Isn't going to start behaving like a blood cell. It's quite clear, and there's such beauty in that. And I see my own confusion of who am I relative to my environment when I'm different. But I want to still be a part of the collective. But I want to be allowed my difference. And it's not that I need it to be approved of, and I can't have it mirrored but ah. And how do we, as the ones who've been here longer, keep the peace also with the ones who are here new, who come in with their own settings? How do we not pass on the same judgment and negating them? You don't function like we do, so there's something wrong with you. It's very challenging. That's why I really feel we need to keep a cross-generational communication lines going with respect. So important to keep that respect, and a lot of us didn't get that when we were kids, and it's very hard to give it then if we didn't get it. And to me, it's like, without this sort of spiritual perspective, I call it spiritual. It's like understanding, okay, you're 3 years old, you're 13 years old, you are born into a world I, as a 40 or 70-year-old, may not understand at all. And I may think you're not equipped for it because maybe I'm not equipped for it, because I wouldn't be equipped for it with my settings, but I was equipped for the world I entered, and I am equipped for the world I live in. And I have to trust that you are equipped for the world you're living in and the world you've entered. And we can share wisdom with each other, because you're a soul who comes from somewhere. You have the wisdom for your life. Oh, there's an open space in me that opens up in me right now that's like, oh, this collective, this yellow star world It's really necessary for the blue hand, for me today in this wave spell, for the wave of the hand, not the particle. I'll get to talking about the particle in a minute because I want to talk about the other particles that are attached, like molecules. Maybe each of these kins is like a molecule. It comes with its... Oh, I have to investigate molecular language now. Yes, I'm going to do that. I like that. What is a part of a molecule? They're like ions and protons. They attach and form like the cluster, and then it's a molecule, right? Am I right? But that's like, yeah. And then there's the particle of the blue hand. But then there's the wave, the way it moves through time, the way it interacts with time. It turns it into a wave. And what is time but the field of all possibility, of all potentiality? That's the multidimensional. So it acts like a wave, and on a certain condition, it acts like a particle. Depends on the observer, right? And therein is this creation of this incredible field, and that's where we become multidimensional. You are a part of this field. You're a part of me, the yellow star. We are that field. We are that field, but we also are the particle. We are the wave, and we are the collective. And right this minute, as I'm talking about it, I can feel it. I'm very aware of it, and it actually causes a very comfortable feeling in my body. I feel a relaxation. I feel a width. I feel like, yes, I can be the particle. I am made out of parts. I am a part made out of parts, part of a bigger part, and we're all waves. We're all potential. And I don't have to be each potential right now. If I try to be that, I twist my knickers in a knot. I'm very good at that. I do that a lot. But that's then incoherent. Then I become incoherent. Yeah, I'm not really coherent. But coherence between all of these, I become... Yeah, now I've tuned into incoherence, and I can't give words to the coherence. It's like I've tuned. Okay, stop. You may be getting it. This is very, very, very delicious, very, very wide field. I feel like I'm the cosmos. I feel this very relaxed sense of, like, the image I get is usually scary, like an astronaut cut off from its vessel and it's just floating through the universe. It's a scary image because we know he's alone, they're going to die, blah, blah, blah. From human perspective, that's a horrible image, but I get this sense of floating in timelessness. I'm a timeless being floating in timelessness. I'm expressing as a human form for a while until I exhale. Can we so surrender into that? I'm imagining myself in that cosmonauts, astronauts suit, exhaling, inhaling until there's no more air, and then I expand into infinite being. What is that like? I'm imagining that my consciousness could stay attached to that body even when that body is no longer breathing for as long as it wants to, but it probably wouldn't want to for very long. But then what is long in the space of, in the soul context or whatever, no more physical context, long, short, time, nothing. It makes no sense in that context, there's no time. So you stay attached until you've experienced all that is to experience, floating through space, yeah. no longer interacting, the body is no longer interacting with anything. So then it may as well dissolve. And if a body is out there in a spacesuit, how does it dissolve when there's no earth to absorb it? No way does it. What happens to it? I wonder. All right, let's hone in on the particle there. My image ended, so I had to take a breather and duplicate my image. Let's hone in on this beautiful blue hand particle. The blue hand particle, healing, accomplishment, and knowing. To stick with just the 3 words. The most like itself energy to the blue hand is the antipodes red earth. So that's red. Underneath it is white, and there's a yellow. Who's the yellow friend of the blue hand? Wait a minute, the yellow human. Go figure. So, free will, influence, wisdom. The most like itself energy. Knowing, healing, accomplishment. To turn it in any way. The human acting, our actions, our knowing, our free will, wisdom, knowing, healing, wisdom. Just bouncing these words in this field. It creates words are frequencies. They resonate. So just bouncing them, letting them swing, resonate with each other. Healing, accomplishment, wisdom, knowing, free will, influence, wisdom, influence, free will, influence, accomplishment, free will, influence, wisdom, free will, influence, wisdom, knowing, influence, wisdom, free will, accomplishment, healing. Do you need any more? That's enough. For me, that's enough. It's like, oh yeah, I can fill 13 days with just that. Perfect. I can't wait to go through these 13 days with just these 6 frequencies dancing and weaving and breathing themselves through my being, through my life. I just have this sense right now that all I want to do, I gotta go paint a room, and all I just want to be like breathing, influence, free will, wisdom, like a mantra of 6 words. The occult, underneath position, the unseen medicine. The occult is the unseen, what's not so obvious. Is white wizard. White wizard. Incidentally, on tone 13, the occult tone plus the main kin's tone, in this case 1 and x equals 14. So you can always know if you want to play that tonal combinations 14. So that is on 13. The white wizard on tone 13. So it has a different tonal quality if you want to add a little more complexity into the mix. The other 3 kins plus the guide kin 4 are all on the same tone every day. And on the magnetic tone, as well as on tone 6 and on tone 11, all of the others have themselves as their own guides if you want to complexify. Because the analog today is, as I just said, yellow human is the magnetic yellow human, guided by itself. If it were a lunar tone, a lunar human is guided by someone else. So then you can add a lot of complexity into this if you wanted to. I'm not going to right now. Why do we do that? Each of us has to find out for ourselves why we do that. When we do that, it builds bridges into knowledge. As I said the other day, it's like a user manual. A third dimensional being, if we're living on the third dimensional plane, we can keep this user manual very third dimensional, the Tzolk'in user manual. When we're going multidimensional, it opens up a playing field that is, well, multidimensional. Say no more. All right, the occult today, let's stay simple because there's much, much power in simplicity, much beauty in simplicity. There's also much beauty in complexity. So this is not a better or worse, better or less good. This is a good and good, a win-win. Everyone is magnetic. Hey! Except we don't have. So who is underneath us? What did I say? The wizard. So we've just come from the wizard wave spell. How beautiful is this? Just for today. It's not like this every time. Next magnetic wave, next magnetic tone is the yellow sun. Then we have the red dragon in the occult position, also on tone 13. But it's not the wave spell preceding the wave spell of the yellow sun. And so what does that mean? Oh, divine complexity. I'm not going there today because we are today. In 13 days I can talk about it. And yeah, that's opening up a whole field in me like, oh my God, yes. I can feel it. Oh, stay here. Us taking some mind-bending free will, using my force of influence to bend me back into this moment. Whoa, that's a... Oh. Sorry. I don't know if you're feeling this. I'd be really curious to know if you can feel this too. Like, to me right now, that's like, I couldn't even put into words what I just felt. But anyway, so this coming from the wizard wave spell with timelessness, the occult medicine, it's so beautiful that we're transitioning from the wizard. I've just spent 13 days in this beautiful wizard, timeless inner being, my inner being, the wave of, and now I'm going into the healing, knowing, accomplishment, taking, which is still an inner, but it's also an outer. The earth is the antipode position. So if I take the collective here, yellow human, red earth, which stands for synchronization, synchronize, navigate, evolve. And the white wizard, timelessness, magic, and excuse me, it doesn't come to me now. What's the third? Do I have to seek it? I don't want to seek it. It doesn't matter now. It's like the inner being and the outer being, the yellow human, which is not just an outer being. The human is the vessel, the body self. Even my mind is a vessel. My emotional body is a vessel. A vessel for what? And each it's a fractal. So if my vessel is a vessel for something, which is also a vessel for something, which is also a vessel for something, in as much as I am a part of a bigger something and I'm made out of smaller parts, which are made up of smaller parts. It's all fractal. It's all fractals of fractals of fractals. And I can choose, if I can choose, with my yellow human to tune into any one fractal, which immediately tunes me into the whole, if I so wish. and to navigate, synchronize, to meet now earth, human, and wizard. Meet definitively in the blue hand. That's their meeting point. That's where they resonate together. It's a spin off point to the wave of the blue hand. I don't know if I'm butchering this or if I'm making sense. For me, I feel it and I love it. Knowing, healing, accomplishment. The earth. I don't want to go on about talking about the earth again right now. I've done it. It's not for me to give to you. It's for you to feel your own navigation, your synchronization on planet Earth as a third dimensional human with an inner being, with a multiverse inside of you, wizard, on a third dimensional Earth, knowing the Earth is not just third dimensional, knowing yellow human, your humanity is not just third dimensional, knowing that, healing that, synchronizing, evolving. To me, I come up with coherence. Coherence is healing. Greg Braden and Joe Dispenza, they speak so much, or that holy trio, Joe, Greg, and Bruce, the three musketeers, yeah? Who am I missing? I'm sorry if there's anyone missing and there's 4 or 5 musketeers or 2,000. We're also one of them, but whatever. It's like this coherence. They're so working so hard or so well and so beautifully on getting us coherent. I sometimes feel personally McGreg is a little much on, he's focusing the shadow a lot, but that's also very necessary. But the coherence they are focusing us in on, becoming coherent on ourselves. Bruce is like a warrior for the yellow human. So much coherence, free will, epigenetics. You're not just a product of your genetics. You're not a victim of your genes. No, you have free will. Very, very yellow human. And all of them converging in this blue hand. We are converging in the blue hand, knowing, healing. We heal ourselves. We heal the collective by healing ourselves. Blue eagle, very, very much the blue eagle. And the blue hand and the blue eagle are connected where blue eagle number 2, 7, and 12 are guided by the blue hand. I do not know off the top of my head which blue hands are guided by the eagle. I could look it up, it doesn't matter now. The reason I know it is because a significant blue eagle in my life is a crystal eagle, guided by the blue hand. So I know I'm memorized which eagles are guided by the hand. I haven't a blue hand in my life so significant. I'm not memorized, that's okay. It doesn't matter, and I could look it up. It doesn't matter if you like. But that molecular bond, that multidimensional molecular bond particle, call it that, of blue hand, with its 3 musketeers that are always its companions, its permanent companions: red earth, white wizard, yellow human. Just synthesize that for a minute. It can keep you busy for, and we have 260 of those. Because today we also have our 4th musketeer is the blue hand. Since the blue hand today is guided by the blue hand. Tomorrow the yellow star has its permanent 3 musketeers, whatever they are. And then the guide, which tomorrow the star is not 1, 6, or 11. It's guided by someone else. I'm not going to look up who it is. It would be interesting to see tomorrow who it is. It's not in my head right now. And I don't want to search it. I could do the maths, but I don't want to do it. Not relevant. But then there's 4 musketeers. And, you gotta love it. So today, and for the next 13 days, this blue hand is the wave. We are particle and wave. We are 13 different particles that make up the wave. They're a quintessential part of the wave. And one is more quintessential than the others, which is tone 5, right? But that's only in a certain context, in another context it's not. So tone 5 in this wave is blue monkey. And I could start a whole 20-hour talk about that right now, because it's so important. The overtone, the center, radiance, command, the 3 words to that. We'll get there. We'll deal with it when we get there. And what I like for myself, what I'm doing in this process, is weaving this us back and forth in time, creating, even for just a moment, even if I just one moment touch on the blue monkey, like it is the command center of the blue hand, the divine child, very linked to the dragon, very linked to the star, tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll already talk about it. So there are these bridges, these connections. Our healing, knowing, accomplishment has a lot to do with this inner child. Can we do it playfully, easily? Can we live with ease? Can we even be easy about the fact when we're heavy? It's not about, oh, everything should be light and easy. No. Everything should be what it is. Oh, hairiness. But like every now and then, that's a medicine. And the medicine of the blue monkey itself is the white dog. Love, loyalty, heart. And the medicine of the white dog is the blue monkey. Tone 4, the red dog. The white dog sits on tone 4 in this wave spell, giving form, measuring, defining. Our healing is defined, measured, formed by our love. Our love defines, measures, forms our healing. Healing and love are very connected. Very connected. The medicine of the child, inner child, is love. It goes wrong for the child, so called. We get ill when we come out of alignment. We're no longer in love with ourselves. We're no longer resonating with love. And tomorrow, the yellow star can remind us very much to resonate in love with our environment. Not like I love you, but there's love. I mean, my God. Love. Healing, accomplishing, knowing. Love, to be love. We are love. To know that, to live that, to be that. Life is love. And there's a part of my rational mind that pipes in and says, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? How do I practically live that? And the only part of me that can ask that is the part of me that doesn't really live that, and it doesn't know how to live that. And something tells me that's an essential part of existence, because love wouldn't know itself if there wasn't something that isn't it. And as a yellow human, I get to choose my identity. I choose love, but I also choose not to negate or vilify the absence of my chosen frequency. Personally, I find healing in understanding, maybe inner standing. Maybe that's a very, very appropriate word to use. I say maybe not because I'm questioning that word, but because it's not part of my vocabulary. I started using that word 2 days ago, or 3, but I find it for myself very healing to find a more neutral language, computer language, code language. It's not about good and bad. I find, and maybe that's part of the age of Aquarius, we come into the age of knowing, out of the age of Pisces, the age of believing. Each has their power, each has their beauty. But the age of Pisces has taken us down very, very, very dark alley. alleys. I'm hoping that the age of Aquarius maybe won't. It will be the age of knowing. You know, you can tell me about hell and hogwash me and make me very afraid and make me very compliant to your, to, but that, or, but if I know, if I do this, it's going to hurt me or it's going to hurt another. I know it, therefore I'm not going to do that. It's not like some nefarious, nebulous concept of hellfire, punishment, something to be afraid of that you have made me afraid of because you are going to be the one to sell me the solution, the salvation. We know now, I know now the reason you've sold me the the thing that I'm so afraid of. You've given me that so that you can take my money and get your power, because now I'm gonna want to buy my freedom or my salvation off of you. That is the height of evil in my books. I'm gonna say it straight. That is just like, and we still have it going on the planet, in all spheres, not just the dark elements of religion. It's everywhere where power gets abused. I want to sell you security for your house. The easiest way to do it is I organize some or other bandits to burgle around a little bit, and then I'm already ready with the burglar guards and the security alarms, and I will sell you those. And to make sure that people buy, I now and then pay my gang to burgle around a little, and then I've sold you the solution. I'm by no means saying that this is what's happening, that every security company, but you know, that's how it works. That's how it can work. You know, I can build you a whole software for your computer, and if I want to make a little bit more money, I sell you virus software. Why? Because I can build you some viruses also, and then I'm going to sell you the virus software. I'm not saying that that's what they're doing, but would be a very lucrative business. That's what I would do. I would just make you believe in a problem or sell you a problem, and then but I create a problem because I've already got the solution for you. You know, it's very simple. But if we know, like, you can't sell me that problem because I know, I know, I don't, it's not, no, you know, like, I know how to program, I know how to build my own software. I know how to keep my body healthy. You can't make me believe in a problem that you're then going to sell me a solution for and keep me forever in some kind of dependency. You know, it's the age of Aquarius, rebellion, you know, because the powers on this planet that are keeping us in that kind of dependency are very huge. They're from small to global, and not a good idea to attack the global powers. We see what happens to people who do that. It's much easier to just step out of their game. Let them play their game with whoever they're playing it with. But they don't have to play it with you. You can just say, I'm not a part of that, but I'm not attacking that either. And then when we're not a part of that, someone else may look and think, well, how are you not a part of that? Or how come you don't have the problems? Or whatever. If it's not even, you know, maybe I don't know. Do we change the world that way? We could. Do we need to? No. Because as soon as you freed yourself from the matrix, you have no more dealings with the matrix. the matrix will not bother you. It's like, yeah, let it be. There are a million matrices. I grew up personally in an atheist environment. I had no issue with the Christian environment. I didn't live in a world where anybody from a religious group came to wage a war on us. And forcefully, like that, there wasn't any conflict. So I live in a world where all religious matrices, and that's kind of what they are, can coexist peacefully. In most countries of the world, they coexist peacefully. Wherever they don't, it's because some powerful people instigate friction. For me, they have nothing to do with the religions. They have nothing to do with anything. And from my perspective, I can say, well, there's some very misguided people that are their minions and waging their wars for them. But if I believe that every human here has free will, then those people want to play that game. And nobody is innocent. There are no innocents in that my worldview, whether I like it or not, would say there are no, even if there are children involved in those areas, nobody's innocent. Every soul comes here with its own game, plan, and purpose. And who am I to know or judge? I mean, like, the best I can do is know my own. And if I don't know my own, I fiddle around in everyone else's. And like, no, it's like, yeah, I've been in that world too, rallying for others, wanting this, wanting that, and thinking this and thinking that, and becoming a prisoner of my own judgment, becoming a prisoner of the matrix of my own judgments, which of course are fed on a collective matrix, the law of attraction. And I'm like, at some point, I'm still in the process of freeing myself from my own judgments. That's really liberating. So it's like, you want to play in your matrix, whatever. It doesn't bother me. Believe what you want to believe. Live in whatever world you want to live in. Do I see an environment like the state matrix that I live in? The tech system, the medical system, the financial system. I'm still, to some degree, part of a matrix there. And there's a lot of it I don't like. So, do I want to change? Do I want to change the system, or do I step out of that matrix? There's some unclarity in myself there on what am I doing, because there's some victim software in me too, where I haven't fully stepped into my own empowerment. And it would absolutely seem, even to myself, to belie everything I know to be true. So then I'm not walking my talk on every front, and I'm not sure that I am or I'm not. But I can see how I stumble around some places as well, or I have a software running that's like a filter that makes me feel insecure. I make myself feel insecure, because if I were talking archons, there are archons getting the better of me. But do I even believe they can? I'm getting the better of me, or whatever. So, yeah, okay, now where am I going? Healing that. Healing, the blue hand. So, what am I attracting? I have some kind of idea for myself as to what I would like to heal, and or what I would like to get a different language for, more neutral, rewrite my code, or change my perspective. The medicine, sometimes, what's the medicine? What's the medicine under the blue hand? White wizard. So the medicine is definitely inside me for everything. It's not outside. All my medicine is inside me, in the settings inside me. Yellow human is my best friend. Free will, influence, wisdom. So I want to call on my own wisdom to influence my own inner settings. Like a computer, I can change my software. I can change my settings. And if I don't know how to do it, I can see during that wave spell, we have the yellow warrior somewhere. We have love on tone 4. Where's the blue eagle? We're in a white, we're in a blue, so eagle is solar. That's great. So I can call on the blue eagle, which is in a solar position, directly intention, realization, pulsing. I have direct access to the sun, central source, source of all knowledge, whatever. It's inside me, my own inner blue eagle, but can also lead me outward to the so-called outward. We are living in this outward. It can lead me to the answers that I need. With the yellow warrior on tone 10, planetary. Oh, how great. The manifested, the warrior is in the manifestation, perfection position in this wave spell. We're going to get there. I'm pre-paving the path. So that asking the right question, intelligent question, using my wisdom, yellow human's wisdom, to ask the right questions, to guide me towards the answers for myself, for my healing. All of it, I have to heal if I have to heal anything, it's my inner being, it's my inner setting. My inner being isn't sick. I don't like that language. And as much as I don't like the competitive language of my immune system is fighting invaders. It's an information exchange system that happens on my inner body, and then a recoding and a reprogramming. I don't like that war language inside my body. There's no war. No part of my body is at war with any other part on the body. You know, it's not when a lion eats a gazelle, lions and gazelles are not at war with each other. You know, my body is synchronized on the earth, with the earth. It's a constant navigating, evolving, synchronizing, happening on a cellular level. Viruses, bacteria, they come into my body. There's an information exchange. There's a synchronization process happening all of the time. And I can stay essentially healthy all of my life because I can allow these processes. The inner being, the wizard, timelessness, knowing, healing, wisdom, free will, synchronizing my free will with the earth I live on, with the world I live in, with my environment. You know, that's a constant synchronizing, navigation, evolving process. Yeah? It's very simple, and that's the user manual. That's how we stay healthy. But it's, you know, the hand comes after the wizard in the wave spell progression. It starts with the red dragon, your own being, coming into yourself, nurturing your environment, allowing yourself being nurtured by your environment. There's no need to have resistance. Picking up, where am I resisting? Where am I not allowing nurturing and being? Where would I want to snuff out the being of another, whether it's a thought, a feeling? Where am I in resistance? You are bad, you are evil, go away, you must die. Whether that you is a person, a thought, a concept, a mental frame, a system, anything. I'm already at war. Where am I at war with life? Don't be at war with life. Yellow star, we're in harmony with each other, synchronizing together. We're together here. We're one global society. We're one human body. Many cells. Harmony. The resources, the earth has the resources for all of us. Spirit, everything. The resources is not a lack. Everybody can thrive. And when there's an experience of non-thriving, it's also fine. But can we just be there for each other? Can we just get it? Anyway, be there for yourself. You don't have, why should we be there for each other? What am I saying? I'm back out there. Am I at war? Is that statement already a war statement? I'm not sure. I'm already wanting to be something to be different from how it is. And then the wizard, the inner being. How am I inside myself? How do I function? What are my inner settings? Am I at peace with myself? And now hand healing. And we're going around in that circle of the 20. So beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful, So during this wave, our challenge and our stability is going to be the yellow star. How artfully are we within ourselves and in our environment? How do we mix and match the colors? The art, there's more red, more, it's a kaleidoscope. Oh, it's changing all the time. Something was fixed. Harmony with our environment, in tune with ourselves, healing the environment, knowing our boundaries, knowing our wisdom, knowing our free will, knowing what we can influence and what we cannot, trying it out, getting it wrong, and then learning how to course correct. I had this situation the other day where, and I'm going to add this in here, I'm sitting on a table with a child, its parent, and myself. And the parent in my books was not correcting the behavior of the child appropriately. The child was being alive and playful and moving and whatever, and it didn't sit well with the parent at that for a moment, how the child was being playful, alive, and carefree. So the parent in a way corrected the child in my books and in a unkind manner. Let me put it that way. And something in me would have wanted to, in that, because I was also trained like that. I was also a child at the table who was talked to like that from a parent and blah, 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 blah. So I realized that had I spoken to correct the parent the way the parent corrected the child, I would have also barked at the parent and said, well, just because you can't handle your own frequency right now, why are you correcting this child? There's a different way to see, the whole thing. And I realized I too don't have the means to speak correctly, to not in that, how do you to course correct another with love and kindness? Not that I'm called to. It's not my place to course correct another. But that's a reflection in the outer world of how I am also with myself, since that is what I've learned. That's the environment I grew up in also. Don't behave like that. Sit still. Eat your food. Don't play with your food. What are you doing? You're annoying me right now. Your aliveness is annoying me. I'm annoyed. And you're the child. So you're the weakest link. Pow! My annoyance goes on you. Because I'm actually annoyed in being here altogether. I just want to be somewhere else altogether. But I can't feel my pain. So I'm letting it out on the weakest link. Whatever. I can do that too and not be aware of it. And I realized that's something I really would like to become aware of and learn. How do I speak respectfully with myself, with another, and maybe point it out and have the wisdom, yellow human, the wisdom to influence. When is it called? When should I speak out? When should something be said? When would it be healing? The yellow human is always attached to the blue hand. When would it be healing, helpful, accomplishing? When would it accomplish healing? That I speak. Where's the yellow human in the blue hand wave spell? Tone 6, rhythmic, organizing, balancing. When to speak and when not to speak. And the yellow human is attached to white wind in the antipodal position, furthest away from itself. White wind stands for spirit, communication, listening, speaking, wind, breath, breathing, all that. To know wisdom, yellow human, when to speak and what to speak. And to always speak with love, through love, healing, in the blue hand wave spell, white dog stands for love on position 4, form giving, defining, measuring. Very important. Very important to measure through love. Speak love, kindness. And in a moment when I'm annoyed with the parent on how that parent speaks to the child, because I feel what happens inside that child and I'm reminded of my own scenario, blah, 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 I go into reactive mode because in that moment I don't have the wherewithal. I mean, I kept my mouth shut, but often enough I also keep my mouth shut out of fear. So my healing, for me, it'd be very nice to reprogram my ability to stay present with love, with wisdom, and I can stay present with love and wisdom and not say anything, just my awareness. Even my awareness, I'm afraid or I don't know that I could say something right now or that I should. I'm aware of it. I'm aware that I'm not sure what to do. Blue hand, action, doing, out there, healing. Words are also a form of action, right? But I'm aware of here a wound is active. A wound is speaking. A wound is causing the disharmony. I may be aware of a wound causing disharmony. Yellow star, disharmony, a harmony. I may be aware of a disharmony. Maybe it's just a trigger in myself. Maybe there isn't even a disharmony, but I'm projecting it. And all of that is to become aware, if I'm afraid to say something in a moment where maybe I should, I'm in disharmony with myself. Fear, blue monkey is disturbing. The yellow star is not disturbing, but there's a disharmony. I'm shutting up for the sake of peace because I'm afraid to get the repercussions of speaking my truth, which I've known plenty times to happen. If in my childhood, if I oftentimes felt treated unfairly and I would pipe up a butt in order to defend myself, very often, no, not allowed. That was having the last word, na 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 na. Meantime, it's actually very often the parent who is at a limit. They're at a limit within themselves. And therefore they can't deal with something. There are times when the child shouldn't always have to argue in its defense, but to know when is that, and when then at the wrong time you have a very sensitive child, it learns it's dangerous to defend itself. I get hurt when I try to defend myself, when I try to argue for my position. And a child would have to argue for its position to learn. How do you argue for your position? Ideally, an adult will teach the child that by allowing the situation maturely. You'd have to be a mature adult to do that, right? You'd have to be a mature parent to give guidance. Yeah? When we shut it down and we teach the child that through that pain, then that gets connected and coupled. And now I become an adult who can't defend herself. Very dangerous. It leaves me really in a vulnerable position as an adult. Often. Shrinks my world because I can't stand up for myself. I mean, I'm speaking in extremes, yeah, but it's enough that it's a few situations. And since talk about archons or talk about like attracts like, magnetic, it takes a few situations like that. Either as an adult, perhaps I become very aggressive, defending my boundaries aggressively, because in me there's an insecure, I didn't learn how to do it properly, appropriate to the situation, so I do it aggressively. I allow no other opinion because I have to, mine is the only one, because the minute I allow yours, I go into shutdown mode, and then I'm lost, or like a few situations in life later on where you repeat, try to defend yourself and someone shuts you down. It can trigger that same wound. They don't mean to trigger that wound. Maybe they're just argumentative. Oh, this is really good. I have situations like that where I think someone else gets triggered by me into that wound and shuts down and sulks with me. It's a mirror. I know this, like, oh, I need to address that. Probably I'll just give that some thought. Our environment has such beautiful ways of mirroring us back to us. But then, like, where was I going? I mean, I don't know. I don't need to make such a big deal out of this, but it's a big deal. For me, at least, a big deal. That healing, that then I can make my world smaller and smaller because I can reinforce my own wounds. I reinforce my own code, like shutting down. If my parents shut me down when I try to defend myself, later on I may misunderstand situations. Again, I can't defend myself, and then I really enforce that a lot. And you can see that going all the way into the physical. Somebody might physically transgress against you, physically, sexually, otherwise. They may mean to, or they may not mean to. But they may not realize they're transgressing against you. You don't know how to defend yourself, or I don't know how to defend myself. Or it's linked in my head. If I defend myself, or I speak out, if I say, but this, I'm trying to assert a boundary, but I've learned asserting a boundary or trying to assert the boundary has left me in a place where I got hit in one way or the other. Really uncomfortable, really painful. Now I don't dare to assert a boundary. Now I let you steamroll over me one way or the other. And it's no good for no one. And in relationships, it causes a lot of problems for everyone. Because if you are in the position of you can't state a boundary, your partner may not know that, may not sense that. Silence is consent. I spoke about that yesterday or 2 days ago. It's like it may come across as that. So then the other person goes ahead with their thing because they're not meeting with the resistance. They're not knowing there's a boundary that they're overstepping. So they go ahead, not knowing it, and a problem gets created that neither of them are fully aware of. The other one seemingly steamrolls over this one, but they don't mean to steamroll over anyone. They're just like, oh, but this is a free passage, so let's go. Oh, it causes so much stuff. He's a yellow star. You really have to know your boundaries. You have to know our boundaries. Our cells have a membrane. If they don't have a membrane and no boundaries, the body doesn't work. The membrane is very important. It's a communication. This comes in and this does not. This is good and this is not. Maybe autoimmune system, this disease, there's like there's no boundaries. I don't know what to shut out, and I don't have boundaries. Everything comes in, everything goes out. I react to everything. Everything is too much. I don't know how to navigate at all. I don't know who I am. I don't know where my boundaries are. Where do I begin with you? And what's good? I can just so see it. And the blue hand, the last seal of your essential self, you have to know your boundaries. You have to know your own system. White wizard is the medicine. Your inner being, your beingness. You have to be yellow human. It's attached to the hand. Navigate synchronized earth. You have to know your own self and nurture it. You produce your own seeds in an environment, the earth, the eagle carries the seeds the birds carry seeds to other environments, and if the environment is not fit for the seed won't sprout there. And if it is, then it does. And we gotta know within ourselves. First of all, we are here, so we are in the environment, we are successful. We've sprouted. That's it. We've already won. Finished. We are whole. We can heal just from that. Just that realization alone can just totally do it. But if we've caused, this is a big field. I'm not going to go into that now. There's a big, big field that I need to look into myself, my environment. Where have I caused, through my creating a false sense of harmony, out of something I've learned, has created disharmonious fields in my environment that I am in harmony with, but I'm not in harmony with myself at the same time. And I know that I'm afraid of coming into harmony with myself because I'm afraid it's going to cause a stark disharmony in my environment, and it's going to cause changes in my environment that are going to really disrupt something. It's going to hurt someone else, it's going to hurt me, it's going to hurt... It's a huge In my mind it's huge. Well, maybe my healing would be to not make it so big. Oh yeah, make it a little bit smaller. Yeah. When I was a child, it was huge because my life depended on it. Now I'm not a child. It cannot be so huge because there's nothing on this planet that my life depends on. My life is certain. In my reality, I will not die of starvation. I will not die of hunger or cold. Isn't going to happen. If, then it means my entire society, basically everyone here is going down. Then it's the end for all of us. It's fine. Different scenario, but that's not happening. In my own life, I will always have shelter. I will always have food. I'm not going to die, no matter what happens. I can lose faith, and that can make me die on another level, and that can be really terrible, and that can lead me to suicide. A different story. But I don't need to make anything so big that is the path I'm going to choose. So I can make my issues a little bit smaller because my survival no longer depends on it. I no longer have to fall in line with anything or anyone because I can fall in line with whoever, what is in accordance with me, and I will be more. Everything will benefit. The entire earth will benefit if I'm in alignment with myself. If I'm in alignment with my inner wizard, I heal myself, my wisdom grows, my influence grows. Out of wisdom, it benefits myself, it benefits the whole, it benefits the evolution of Earth herself because I'm in alignment with Earth. It's not me asserting my egoic will over something else, blah, 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 blah. Everything grows, harmonizes, evolves, stabilizes. Then the yellow star, which is a challenge in the one way if I'm not in balance or in harmony, but if it is, it balances, it stabilizes, it benefits the collective. Simple. Right? But for me, that's the healing I've achieved after an hour and 32 minutes. I'm not wearing my glasses. This is very small print. I think it's 132. I can keep this running to 144. Wouldn't that be ideal? I'm not going to do that intentionally. But that is definitely something I've attracted now to myself. I'm going to take that with me. I'm going to listen to this one again. It's my medicine in here to make the problems I'm afraid of, where the disharmony, the change of softwares, anything like that, where I'm afraid because I think something is bigger than me and I don't have influence, I don't have power, I disempower myself. Because somewhere I was disempowered, I can acknowledge that, but I am now a grown adult and I will grow my own empowerment. Not egoically, not as I was told, if you take care of yourself, you're selfish, if you blah, 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 all these old core programmings, if you're financially abundant, you are an evil person, or having money out, all these core beliefs that keep us in emotional, spiritual, physical, mental health poverty, whatever our own issues may be, I can empower myself simply by believing I can solve, life can solve. I have the blue hand wave spell now, and I have it forever, because we're going around forever. So this is a wave spell to really focus on evolution and healing. Wisdom, free will, timelessness, magic. What was the other thing to the wizard? Now I want it. Anyway, whatever it is. Ooh, I'm having a deja vu. Hello, Tatiana. From a different timeline. I think we're just crossing timelines. We've veered off, like, off you went that way, off I went this way, and then we developed, and now we're meeting again in this moment. Delish. Okay. Sending love to everyone, wishing us a beautiful wave spell, healing, accomplishing, knowing. Oh, beautiful. I feel super blessed. I feel connected. Even if we're not in any way, shape, or form on the level talking with each other, I feel blessed to be sharing the space with whoever I'm sharing the space with. And ultimately, I'm sharing the space with every human on this planet because I'm a part of the human earthly being and a part of the earth, and I feel very blessed for that right this second. Aho.